Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Dan Hendrickson here. We are at West Lancs Golf Club today. Yesterday we were at Wallasey Golf Club playing in our Heritage Series, and we've got a little real golf experience for you today, where yesterday we were on the golf course with Alex Evans. If you haven't seen Alex Evans, make sure you head over to his channel and check out some of his videos. But Alex played a shot that was just off the edge of the green, and I'll show you that shot just after this intro. But Alex had a certain way of playing it, and not probably textbook, but certainly something that might be able to help you with your game, and certainly something that you could go out and test yourself. I've got my brother Paul with us today, and he's going to help us talk through that shot and hopefully help you with your game. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. Got so much more content coming your way with course vlogs and obviously this new series. Let's head over to Paul and find out what is going on with this particular shot that Alex had.
You got the 2-pot, yeah?
I'm sorted here, yeah.
I'll pick up then. I'll just pick up.
But we're going to film this, because this is, well, it's perfect, isn't it?
Well, the difficulty is getting to the bottom of the ball, just because it's just
How are you going to do
so
that?
tight. I'm going to go toe down.
Literally is as tight.
Toe down.
Toe down to take off the bounce.
Take off the bounce, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one bounce there.
Yeah, just on that, yeah.
That
Just
bit
on
there,
that.
Just one little bit of check. Little bit of check
there.
just there.
That's lovely.
Toe down.
Toe down.
Really working with the equipment.
Plenty of speed we need. That is struck as good as it could. Sit. I had no chance to die.
No. Good effort though.
Yeah,
You've like barely bruised the surface, haven't you?
Just certain places you can't miss it on this hole.
And you need to go at it with some speed.
That was one of them, yeah.
So an interesting shot that Alex had, isn't it, Paul? I mean, it was kind of one of those shots where he was a little bit dead and buried. I mean, he didn't really have much to play with, but it was the situation, it was the scenario, it's the lie that he had that we might be able to sort of just talk about and maybe help people in that situation themselves. So from your sort of perspective, or the way you sort of read what Alex was doing, tell us what you think about that particular shot.
I think he's obviously off a tight lie.
Yeah.
And I think the key with a tight lie is trying to reduce the bounce. That's what you don't want. When you're off a tight lie, you don't want too much bounce coming through on the shot. So he's trying to manipulate the club in a way that's going to reduce the bounce that he's going to show when he hits the shot.
And just show everybody what you mean by the bounce of the club and how that kind of works as well.
So you'll have an angle. Obviously everyone knows the angle of the club face.
Yes.
That's an angle that there is on the club.
Yeah.
There's also another angle on the back here, which is the bounce, which is basically the highest point of the club.
Yeah.
And the angle from that to the leading edge is what makes the bounce. Now,
and that is, there'll be a number on these wedges, won't there, where they kind of showcase what that bounce is.
So you have to choose, depend on how you play your shots, but I've got a very low bounce club, so I've got 4 degrees of bounce on this club.
Okay.
Some people have a lot more, some up to 14 degrees.
Yes.
So for me, off a tight lie, this club is a lot easier to play.
Well. Yeah.
But obviously if I get onto softer conditions, it then becomes more difficult. So I've got to then add bounce to this club in order to play the soft shots.
And what's the reason for that? Obviously it's to do with how the club digs into the ground, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. So the more bounce you've got, it's easier for the softer lies, and when it's not firm. But when you get a firmer lie, you want to have a club with less bounce on it. Okay.
So Alex was talking about the fact that he obviously opened the club face up because he's trying to maximise loft, isn't he, from that particular shot. So he's trying to get as much loft on the club as he can. But ultimately, when you open the club face up, that then enhances more bounce on the club, doesn't it? It kind of lifts the leading edge. So he then wanted to lift the handle up. So he's utilising a different part of the wedge again. So just show us again on your wedge. What does that kind of look like?
So
his was very similar to your wedge.
Yeah. So this wedge here has relief. So when they've ground the grinding on this sole, they've taken off a bit of metal from here. Yeah. They've taken a bit off of here, back edge, and they've taken a bit off the toe. Okay. So what Alex was trying to do was he was trying to position the club in a way that was taking bounce off, so he wasn't then
He's not trying to hit it there, is he?
It wasn't utilising this part of the club, which is the highest point of the bounce. So he was using the toe, which you can see there's more grinding off there. So he was using that. So that was making contact with the ground rather than the high point of the club.
Okay, so it makes complete sense. So just show us how he was actually doing that then, Paul. What was he?
So what you would do is you would obviously, if you're playing it standard ways, you'd have the sole flat on the ground.
Yeah.
It's here. But he was then trying to get it up higher.
Yes.
So in order to do that, you kind of have to stand a little bit closer and get the handle up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And what that then does is it's then using the toe of the club then is engaging with the ground rather than the middle of the club.
Now, do you think that that's actually quite a high skilled shot on its own anyway to try and work with that? It is it?
It's a shot for a good golfer who's practiced it a lot.
Yes.
And also there's still, when you do take that shot on, if you're a good golfer, there's still a high amount of risk involved. But from what I gather, the position that Alex was in, he had no other option really than to take that sort of shot on. The other option was to play out sideways, and the format we were playing, it was worth the risk. So it's a high tariff shot for sure.
Okay, let's have a go then.
Okay, so what Alex was doing, he also opened the club face to get a bit more loft.
Yeah.
So he's positioning the toe of the club on the ground there like that. So really what you've then got to do is play the ball out of the toe of the club, which will then in turn take ball speed off the shot.
Okay, so what you mean by that then is because it's being struck not in the centre point, it's been struck out the toe, we're going to lose ball speed.
You're going to lose a bit of ball speed. If you would struck it out the centre, obviously with the club being up high, that leading edge then is becoming higher up on the ball. So that's why you've got to kind of play it out the toe more, because that's the bit that's going to be on the ground. So
he's using a few different elements, isn't he? Even though he's explaining it that he's just using the toe or the bounce thing, he's actually trying to quieten down ball speed so it doesn't pop forward too quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we can get some good height, but it come down like soft on him.
Yeah.
By opening the face up, do you have to aim a little bit further left? Because obviously that club to me looks like it's pointing a bit right.
Absolutely, definitely. Yeah, you want to aim yourself that way.
Yeah.
Every time you open the face, you're going to add loft, but also you're going to add bounce as well. So.
Yeah. Let's see a couple of shots then from here. Yeah, nice. You can.
Can I stop on that one?
Yeah, you can stop on that one. That was a good shot. That was nice. But just hit a couple more and just again give us a bit of feel. What does it feel like to play it?
Getting the handle up high.
Yeah.
Position it out the toe.
Yeah.
Opening the face a little bit, and then just a little bit more speed in the shot.
Yeah, because of the dead.
It's coming dead out the toe.
Yeah, I like that. So the speed bit, the speed bit is really important, isn't it? Because obviously, like you said there, because there's not a lot of ball speed coming off the face, that ball's not shooting forward, so you need to give it a little bit more, which in turn also helps create a bit more spin, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Because the more speed you generate, the more spin you can generate on the ball as well.
Yeah.
Does it feel dead off the face? Is that what it does? It does feel quite dead off the face?
It does, and I mean I've practiced the shot a lot.
Yeah, I feel
so
right.
now my feel has kind of been diluted a little bit because I'm used to that sort of reaction from the shot. So, but I think it's something you've got to practice. I wouldn't be going out in your Sunday medal or Saturday medal and just trying this for the first time expecting to get good results. This is something you want to come with a bag of golf balls around a putting green or a chipping green and spend quite a bit of time perfecting it and getting it right.
Can you just grab my club? Okay, so I've got my club down on the floor, which I brought over here. Now the reason I brought this over is because this is very different, isn't it? So this is again, there's going to be a lot of people out there that don't have the heel and toe relief on their wedges because they've been fitted into something slightly different. And I'm one of those players that I don't tend to open the face up a great deal and do these types of shots. I'm like to keep it pretty straight face. But this one here is slightly different again, isn't it? This wedge that I've got.
Yours here, you've got 10 degrees of bounce.
Yes,
so you've got 6 degrees. It's the same loft as mine. We're both 58s.
Yeah.
But yours is 10 degrees of bounce, which is it's kind of built for softer conditions.
Yeah.
So I think you'd be fine in the winter. But when you come to a links course, I think you're gonna find it difficult to play certain shots with this club.
Now, even though this hasn't got grounded off on the edge here, mine is just a straight grind along the back, so I can lean it backwards and forwards like this.
Yeah.
I still think I want you to play a shot with this because I think because of the way in which that rolls round there, I think you're still going to lose a little bit of bounce there anyway.
Yeah, sure.
So I just wanted you to play it with that club, just so you can give us a bit of feedback, so those people out there that have clubs like mine don't necessarily turn around and go, well, I haven't got the club to do that.
Yeah, I think also with this club, I don't think you could open the face as much as I could.
No.
Because as soon as you start adding loft to this club, you're going to add a lot more bounce. So I think you'd have to play this, you'd be limited on how much you could open the face. So when I play this, I'm not going to open it quite so much, which means it's going to be coming a little bit lower, so I'm not going to be able to stop it as quick.
Well, let's hit one and just give me some feedback on feel from that club.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it still works, doesn't it? Like, we couldn't turn around and go, oh, that's not going to work because I haven't got that toe and heel relief.
No. And it's something you need to spend time with your wedge and get used to what it can and can't do. I think you know, that's the only way you're going to kind of know what your limitations are with the shot, is based on just practicing it. Oh, yeah.
Are you having that one?
I'm going to take this one now.
That just went straight in, so well done you.
So yeah, I think it's definitely running more though.
You can see it coming out a smidgen lower.
Yeah, and I think that's because I'm not opening it as much.
Yeah,
or as much trust
absolutely,
in the bounce.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take that shot though.
So the idea of this series is that there are so many different ways of playing different types of shots, but when you get good players, when you get golfers who are out competing, they find their own little ways of getting around the golf course, and that's just Alex's way of doing it. It's not necessarily a shot that I've practiced. Obviously Paul has practiced that shot because it's a shot that he would probably require when he's playing a lot of links golf courses, tight lies, and the wedge that he's got as well. But it's just different ways, and this is what this is all about. It's about showcasing you different types of shots that these golfers can play that might be able to help you with your game. But I'd like to know, what would you do in that situation? Put your comments down below. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you all again very soon.